And live from George Arba Soccer Court at Alumni Hall, welcome to the Men's Basketball Open Practice as we give you guys an in-depth look at the Fairfield Stags. And over the next half an hour, we will be joined by several guests. And the first one is the head coach of the Stags, is Sidney Johnson. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure of mine. I like the sound of Pizzacca Court, by the way. He's a great man. He did so much for the program, both as a coach and an AD. So it has a nice ring to it. And then, of course, being at Alumni Hall is a really good feeling for the coaches and players.
It was a great dedication, the Bridgeport game for George Arbasaka, and it looked like, the team really, rallied around that and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, the energy is off the charts in this place. There's just an incredible feeling, and I don't know if obviously some of it is present day, but a lot of it is the tradition and just the electricity of alums coming on and folks from the neighborhood as well, and then obviously our students. I mean, Red Sea Madness, Red Sea Nation is phenomenal. The dance team, the cheerleaders, the band, the whole crew. So it was really nice, and we got a couple more of those against St. Peter's and Dartmouth. So it'll be nice to be on campus.
Especially that Alumni Hall game against Columbia, it looked like that was really the sixth man here at Alumni Hall, and the team, they got the energy from it. And it hasn't just been the Alumni Hall, but you've been saying that it can practice, it's the energy. Just talk about the energy from this team.
Well, I've said it to a lot of people, our future's really bright, and then people have said to me, it's a really fun and easy team to cheer for. I think we get out in transition. We certainly play tremendously hard, and we like each other. And I think that shows. When you come into this environment, or you go to Webster Bank Arena, or on the road, there's a lot to be proud of with the how the guys are playing, how we're sharing the ball. I think we're top 20. Well, I know we're top 20 in the country in terms of pace of play. We're great in assists. I think we're like top 40. Top 30, something like that. So it's just we're getting out in transition. We're playing really hard. We're playing defensively, and it's been a joy to be around these guys. And again, it's always nice when it's at home.
And when you're playing at a pace like that, like you mentioned, the pace of play, how much fun is it for the players to play in an environment like that?
Yeah, well, it certainly made recruiting a lot of fun. I mean, these guys, they see what we're doing, the recruits now, and obviously we recruited this crop of kids, our freshmen in particular, and then our seniors are chomping at the bit to play this style. It's rooted in defense, okay? So as good as we've been offensively, we have the best improvement from one season to the next in the entire MAC. We're up 13 points in overall scoring, and it's the best in our league. But it is rooted in defense and getting stops and rebounding. We're #1 in the league in terms of defensive rebounding, and we rank in the top 40 in the entire country in terms of defensive rebounding. So it starts there, and then it allows us to get out in transition.
And your teams have always been, high in scoring defense, especially. How much has this team, really, bought into that fact about having the defense set up the offense?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody got to you and gave you the inside lingo, because buy-in, Ivy, is really huge. It's what we talk about a whole lot. And so we have a great senior class of leaders. They've really modeled well what we're about. We have some sophomores who've played a ton. My junior class is small with Smitty, Andrew, and Matt, but they've been excellent. The buy-in, been able to model that for our younger guys. But that is a word and a phrase that we use a lot. And when you have that, you can always move forward. And that's what our practice has been, a whole lot of moving forward and getting better and just trying to win the day that we're engaged in.
Now, every recruiting class is different, but this one, very impactful. Every member of this class seems to have a role. Just how special is that when you have a freshman class coming in and there's not that much transition involved right away?
Well, it certainly makes my job easier, to have guys who come in and have an immediate impact. I'll tell you, we have, we sent out a newsletter informing our season ticket holders and our fans. We simply feel like we have the best recruiting class in the conference. Each one of our freshmen, 4 of them, and Mattia and Jonathan and Jerry and Curtis, they're leading freshmen in one key statistical category. They're either 1 or 2 in all of the MAC in terms of freshmen either scoring or steals or blocks or rebounds or field goal percentage or three-pointers made. That's remarkable to have that all in one class. So we have an outstanding freshman class, an impactful one, and one that shows leadership in their own regard, but then they're good soldiers too. They certainly take the lead of our upperclassmen. So it's just a great mix. We continue to move forward. We're highly competitive in every game, and we feel like that's going to continue.
Final question. How would you describe every team has a different character. How would you describe the character of this team?
Wow, that's an awesome question. I know we like each other, so I don't have a word to pinpoint it, but I know that we like each other a lot, and we're very close. We're very close, and that's players together, we really like being around each other. And we work hard, so we have a lot of fun, and we'll be clowning around, as you can hear now, but we're working, and that's what can't be lost. But I think we like each other, and that's something that is going to carry us a long way.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, and thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah.
And when we come back, it will be Coach Mitch Bonagero and Marcus Gilbert when we come back to the Stags men's basketball open practice.
Fairfield men's basketball team. I started getting into basketball when I was really young. I was in kindergarten. I was the tallest kid. So, only tall people play basketball, so they threw me on the basketball court. Needless to say, I've only grown about a foot since then. So it's kind of turned against me, but that's why I started playing. One thing that people will be surprised to know about me is that I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. I love it. Every song, Blank Space, Style, Shake It Off. That's my pregame ritual. I listen to every one of them, and then I go and take the court. It's worked out pretty well. Where I see myself in 5 years, hopefully coaching. I really like the aspect of coaching and teaching young kids games, basketball, and also teaching them about life. So hopefully in 5 years I'll be coaching. Oh wait, I messed up. I'd say guard, and then he got into this too. All right.
Coach Mitch Bonagero and Marcus Gilbert, guys, thank you for joining us today. And first, Coach, you're in your first season, but just talk about Marcus, the senior leadership that he's brought and everything. Just talk about what you've seen from him in the first
Well,
year.
Marcus is a terrific young man. He brings great leadership to our team. Obviously, he's a terrific player, so we look for him to, obviously, for great things this year, and he's doing a great job in terms of being a leader.
And Marcus, this is your fourth year, and you've had 3 senior classes talk about, that senior year where there's the light is at the end of the tunnel. And what's the difference between, the 3 years and your senior year? Do you feel like that, sense of urgency and all that? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, my 4 years here, I've learned a lot throughout my years, especially when going into my senior year. Coach told me I have to, really work on my leadership and help lead the guys this season, and I really took to that challenge that it gave me, and it's really paying dividends right now. Even though I'm out right now, I still got to keep speaking up and telling the guys what to do.
And Coach, this team has a lot of energy, during the games, but Coach says that it comes during practice as well. Just to try and describe the energy brought into the practice.
Well, I think it started 8 months ago in the summer. We had guys come in early in the morning. I was part of some of the workouts. Guys really committed to getting better. The energy level's been great. I think the team at this point has got good confidence. We got 4 of our last 5 wins. We're running the ball. We're doing the things that Coach really emphasized, pushing the ball. We wanted to have, be good teammates. These kids are all really get together, get along well, and it's a lot of fun right now.
And Coach B said it's a lot of fun, especially Marcus as a player playing in a type of team like this. The up tempo and the scoring. That's got to be a lot of fun too, as well.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun getting up and down the court. Scoring a lot of points. People love to see that, and we love to score. So, getting up and down the court it plays to our roles, and it really works out for us.
And Coach, something different this year, playing 3 games here at Alumni Hall. Well, 4 including the Bridgeport game, but you saw in Columbia especially of how the energy in this building could just become the 6th man. And you were here when it was packed during, the regular season. Just talk about the environment that Alumni Hall can have.
Well, this is a great home court. When I coached back, in the 80s, we had a tremendous fan base that came to the games, and, the other night for Columbia, it was a great atmosphere. I know Marcus and the guys like to play here. It's great for the students. It's great for our fans. It's a place that I think we can really develop a big home court advantage, and that's what you want in college basketball. I know when I coached here, we had some great wins, and just the enthusiasm of the people that come to the games here. It really creates a big advantage for us.
And Marcus, especially after the Columbia game, you said that the team rallies around that energy. Just explain how it is playing in Alumni Hall.
You get that personal vibe, like the fans are right on you. You pack it in with fans, and you just get that, energy. Because when you score a point or have a good possession, the fans just get right into it, and then you feel the fans, and then that just gives you the extra push to, rally back from a deficit, or you just keep pushing to increase your lead.
Coach, is there a favorite memory that you have in this building?
Well, I had a lot of them. We had, the year we went to the NCAA, we had we only lost one game that year in the conference. I remember that night. We lost to Iona, a good team, but I remember the fans when we lost the game by 1 point. The entire place gave us a standing ovation, and I never forgot that. So it speaks to the type of people that support our program. They're behind us. I know Marcus, has said on occasion, love to play here more, and we have a good home court advantage here, and we want to obviously get another win when we play here again against Dartmouth and St. Peter's.
And now, Marcus, being a senior, you've had the whole 3.5 years now. How do you think your individual game has developed from a freshman to now?
I think it developed to a very high level. When I was a freshman, I remember my role was just to shoot, and play some defense. And then as the years went on, Coach just tacked on a lot of different things as the years went on. And, I just took to those challenges and just challenged myself to get better at each of those things each year. And I think, just throughout the years, it's just helped me to develop to become a better all-around player. And I thank him for that and giving me those challenges.
And one more question for each of you. Coach, Marcus just said it, but every time that each of these players gets a challenge, they embrace it. How special is that to, help coach, a team that has a challenge and they embrace it and they play better because of it?
Well, we've embraced the whole, Coach Johnson has been pretty clear about what he wants, and it's about guys being accountable. It's about the players buying in, and we've had that. We've had it not only from Marcus, we've had it from the whole team, and it shows on the court. We're a team. We pick each other up. We come back from adversity. We've come back in games where we haven't had leads. So I think it's a great time for the program. I think it's on the rise. I think the players in the program are great kids, and it's a great product to watch. I mean, we're one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. So we're going to get the fans to come out and support us.
Marcus, last one for you now. Your last year in college, I know you're not looking forward just yet, but how does embracing all these challenges help you go forward, in life after college, just off the basketball?
Coach has just been, pounding me with one of my biggest challenges this year is, with leadership. And, leadership on the court and off the court, because, leadership is a great quality to have and to have in life. So once I embrace that on the court and, start implementing that into real life situations, it just helped me become a better person and become more successful in life. So,
Coach and Marcus, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And when we come back, Coach Tom Parada and Mattia Milan will come and join us right here on the Stags Men's Basketball Open Practice.
You ready?
Yep.
There it is. There's excitement and there's also heartfelt emotion. And to have a great space that we can call home. It's dedicated for us to high major situations, the showers, the film room. It's something that brings our program up another level, quality of experience that we can provide really good players through their 4 years is second to none, and we feel really good about that.
When people look at how serious you are about your program, I think the locker room that you play in has a lot to do with that. And when you take a look at this locker room and how classy it is, I think with the branding and the lockers, each one of them with the stag head, you really feel like you're at home.
I mean, I think their eyes are going to pop. For our guys, I think they feel good, and they should. We are working really hard. We have talent. We feel like we're upping the ante on the court, so why not with our facilities and the support that we have for these young men?
And welcome back to Alumni Hall for the Stags Men's Basketball Open Practice. We are joined by Coach Tom Parada and Mattia Milan. First, Coach, another international recruit here with Mattia. Just talk about him a little bit personally.
Well, first of all, he's a remarkable young man. He loves the game. He's gotten better since he's been here, and the transition usually for international kids is pretty lengthy at times. But I think because he's a little older and he's been out on his own for quite a bit, he's been playing in different countries, gone to school in different countries. I think that's really helped his transition here to Fairfield. And it took a little bit to obviously get acclimated to a new culture and things like that. But I think he's hit the ground running once he got here, and now he's just going to keep getting better and better.
Mattia, Coach just said it, you've been in a lot of different countries. How has that variety of play helped you here at Justin Fairfield?
Well, I needed to use to every new situation and every new environment during my first year of basketball, so I was adjusting even any other country I would be in, so this wasn't hard experience for me, but it's much different than Europe.
And now, Coach, how important is it to recruit internationally because you see, different variety of play, different styles of play that can come in and blend together?
Well, it just so happened that the two worlds go very well together, being here at Fairfield and Coach Johnson, because his system, just reeks of European basketball, because it's a pass and cut, and it's pretty traditional. It's kind of how the game should be played. So it's a perfect scenario to bring in international kids, because they do have a feel for the game already at a very young age. That not even if you're a guard or a big man or anything like that, they're taught to dribble, pass, and shoot. And then everybody that we're recruiting here at Fairfield has to be able to be skilled like that. So I've been doing international recruiting my whole career, and I've probably been I don't know how many countries, probably 20 plus countries, and recruited over 30 international players. So it was just a fit. When I saw Mattia on tape, I went over to see him in person, and he was exactly what I saw on tape. And he just happened to fit very well into what we're doing. So the two worlds kind of came together. So we're going to continue to go that route and try to attract as many international kids as we can, and then blend them with the great basketball that we have here in America. So it's worked for us so far. We're going to continue to do it.
Mattia, 8 games through your college career. What would you say is the difference between basketball in Serbia and basketball here in America?
Well, speed is the biggest difference, fast breaks and game speed, passing the ball, everything. It's much more physical than Serbian basketball, and I don't know, I think for me in Serbia I was the guy that everybody thought that I would fit well in American basketball, because I was running the floor and everything. And
how much fun is it to play in a type of style like that, running the floor and scoring the points? How much fun is it to play in a style like that?
For me, it's a lot of fun, because that's my favorite style of basketball, where floor is open and everything could happen.
What makes it fun for you?
Well, that style of playing helps me more with my tricky passing.
Passing or turnover passing at times. I think that's one of the things that he does very, very well, and I'm not sure 8 games in that people appreciate the type of passer he is at his size. One of the things that we noticed about him was, he can obviously get out and run, which is great for us. He can shoot the basketball. We've talked about him getting better, but passing the basketball at his size and being able to face the basket really, really opens up the floor. So I think, again, skill level at that size, I think he's going to keep getting better and better. But mostly, Ivy, what they talk about international kids coming here is the physicality, which Mattia talked about. They're not used to all the bumping and the physical play in the post and things like that. So, he's very comfortable facing the basket. And what we've become, very pleased with is that he will mix it up in the post with bigger, stronger people. Obviously his first year, he's going to fill out a little bit and hopefully put on around 20 pounds and be able to hold his own a little bit more in the post. But he's not afraid to go down there and mix it up. So.
Now, when you have a well-rounded athlete, how does that help, like you said, extend the floor and become a well-rounded team?
Well, a lot of people, there's a lot of programs out there that they recruit size and strength, and they put kids like that down on the block, and they don't come out of the paint. We insist that everyone that we talk about, when we talk about recruiting, the thing we insist on is that big and small, they have to be able to face the basket. And when they face the basket, they have to be a threat, obviously, to shoot the ball. They have to be a threat to drive the basketball, as you've seen with Jonathan already. And you got to be able to pass the basketball. So, we're very specific and very particular in what we're trying to bring into our program to fit our style. And a lot of times, people can get that mixed up. They just go out and recruit talent, and then it doesn't necessarily fit what we're trying to do. And Coach is very, very clear and very secure in the system that he runs. It works, and it's worked over many, many years. So we just have to kind of plug in the pieces. And Mattia is a perfect example of recruiting to your system and strengths.
Now, Mattia, last question for you. You're a pretty good Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
I heard this, but
Have
I'm
you
not
heard
really.
about that?
I heard about it, but I'm not really sure.
that started with my best friend getting Rubik Cube for his birthday or something from his mom, and he didn't know how to solve in like one piece, like one side. So I showed him that, and then he thought I could solve the whole Rubik Cube, but in that time I didn't know how to do that. So I kind of cheat. I went like on YouTube to solve like different ways of solving. So now I have like my own patterns, so it's much easier.
And how quickly can you do it?
Like the right Rubik Cube, like that is used in like competitions, is probably like 1 minute 1:30.
It just so happens that we have one under here for you to. I'm just kidding.
We wish we did.
Had I known, I would have gotten out and gotten one. But yeah, we'll have to do that over the break. We'll go out and buy him a
Over the
Rubik's
break.
Cube.
It'll
Put
be
it
a
in
get to know the
stocking.
Stags.
Yes.
Mattia, thank you very much, and thank you for
you.
joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And we will keep Coach Parada right now as Jonathan Casababu will come up, and he is right over there. Now, as Jonathan comes in, Coach, just talk about Jonathan a little bit, his game. Another international recruit, just talk
Sure.
about his game a little bit.
Well, I think he's the perfect complement to Mattia, and you can probably gather by just the sheer size of them. They contrast pretty well. Jonathan's an unbelievable physical presence for us, which we desperately need, and he helps on the glass and just provides that bulk that we really don't have due to injuries and things like that. And Mattia is kind of the contrast. He's more the finesse guy, and now we're trying to bring those things together. We talked about Mattia filling out, putting more weight on, getting stronger in the weight room to kind of get him closer to what Jonathan brings. And now what we're trying to do with someone with the physicality of Jonathan is to now really sharpen his skills so he becomes a really, really big-time threat facing the basket. He's already a wonderful driver from there. He's working on his three-point shot, and he seems to be someone who's very, very comfortable passing the basketball. And what he does so well is, especially at the top of the key, is that he swings the basketball, and then he throws his 240-pound frame into a ball screen. And it's very, very hard to manage that defensively. That is. So we're trying to put the two together. We're trying to give a little bit of Jonathan Mattia and a little bit of Mattia to Jonathan.
And Jonathan, Mattia said that one of the biggest differences between playing, internationally and here is the physicality, but it hasn't looked like you've had that transition right now. Just talk about, the physical presence that you like to, especially rebounding, that you like to show in every game.
I mean, I was just blessed with a big body, to be honest, and coaches always have pushed me to do so, to use my body some way. So. Rebounding drills and all that we do in the games and everything, it's not about only coach pushing you to get some. It's just about who wants it. Because rebounds, actually, it's all about defense too. As offensively and defensively, rebounding is give you more option to score. So I just go for a rebound. It doesn't matter if you're skinny or big. You just go for a rebound. That's what we do, actually.
It does help that people bounce off him, though, when he's going for those rebounds.
Exactly.
One of the things that, and again, I haven't, and people have commented on this about his rebounding. He's one of the throwback guys that if the ball is up there in his area, or even slightly out of his area, he's a guy that you don't see all too often that go up with two hands and go corral the basketball and come down to the ground with two hands. Most guys, at this level, and obviously in the NBA when you see it, they're up and over people and they're going up with one hand and bringing it down. Jonathan plays really to his strength. So he goes up and he goes and gets it with two hands and comes back down. And people start to bounce off because he chins the basketball very well, and he provides us with so many extra possessions. That's the thing. And he might not always get the rebound, but he always keeps it alive, and it might, have an opportunity, provide an opportunity for one of our other guys to get it. So that's something that doesn't always show up. He'll get credit for the rebound, but just his physical presence going for rebounds really doesn't show up. So that's something that, a lot of people would love to have on their rosters.
And Jonathan, one last question for you. You look at, and you said you were blessed with, a big body, but your first love was soccer from, that piece that was on FairfieldStags.com. Just talk about, just growing up in the Congo and, having that love for soccer and how you developed into a basketball game.
Like I said before, when many people ask me why did I start soccer, it's not about starting it. It's just like soccer is the biggest sport in Africa.
In the world.
In the world, to say, matter of fact. I was born into it. My father played soccer, matter of fact. So I just started playing soccer with everybody. And then everything started changing when I started growing so fast and getting bigger and bigger. And you could clearly see that my transition was getting more into basketball than it did in soccer. And I was having difficulty finding equipment for soccer too, like soccer shoes and all that. And my entourage, my cousin, were playing basketball. And I just decided one day to try to start basketball, because also at some point soccer was taking some time at my school, and that doesn't roll with my dad. At all. It doesn't fly with my dad. You can miss with everything, but you can't miss with school. So I really had to quit soccer and start something else.
I think that might come full circle too when they called, it's football. And I think when his career is over at Fairfield, he's going to have an opportunity to play American football. When you think about his skill set and his size and his hands and his feet, there's a lot of people out there that play Division I basketball, and then all of a sudden, people are looking. Antonio Gates, Chris Manhertz, who I coached at Canisius, was a similar body and build and strength, and he's playing for the New Orleans Saints right now. Never played football in his life, but those are things when you are blessed, and that's the operative word here. With that size and the level of skill that Jonathan has, I think his choices after college are going to be immense. Not to mention that he's a wonderful student, speaks 5 languages, and he's going to be able to write his own ticket. He works unbelievably hard, and he's a wonderful young man.
Well, Fairfield is glad that he's playing basketball right now. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time, and Coach Parada as well. And when we come back, it will be Coach Tyson Wheeler and Jerome Segura here on the men's basketball open practice.
Hi, my name is Curtis Cobb. I'm a guard from Fall River, Massachusetts for your Fairfield basketball. Hi, my name is Curtis Cobb. I'm a guard from Fall River, Massachusetts for your Fairfield basketball team. Oh, most embarrassing sport moment probably during live period. The coaches that recruited me, I was on a wide open layup. I went to jump and my leg just gave out. I slipped. The ball hit me out of bounds. It was just terrible. One thing people would be surprised, I'm really into soccer. The reason why, a lot of my friends are from the island. They all play soccer, and I'm just really good at FIFA. My favorite moment growing up playing any sport would be winning a national championship with Tyler Nelson. It was great. I couldn't believe that we actually won, It was just a great feeling. Marcus, what would be one thing people would be surprised to know about me?
And welcome back to Alumni Hall. We are joined with Coach Tyson Wheeler and Jerome Segura. First, Coach, just talk about Jerome a little bit and the development that you've seen so far this year.
Well, I think the start this summer with Jerome, we sat down and watched a lot of video, talked about what he needed to do to improve, to go from his freshman year to a sophomore year and really get his stats up there, assist and scoring wise. And I think the most effective thing for him this year is that we changed the pace of our play, trying to push the ball, and he's just bought into it. And like I said, we watched film, and he's done a great job with that.
And Jerome, just talk about that development that you've had over the summer. Coach said that this is your team to lead. Just talk about what the development over the summer helped you with this year.
It started, like you said, it started during the summer. He just told me what I need to do. He wants to play faster, and that's the thing I do best, pushing the ball full court. So, and finding my teammates. So I think that's what we stride over. So.
How much fun is it to play in a pace like this?
Oh, it's fun. It's really fun. It's a lot of possessions, a lot of points, and it's good to play.
You know, Coach, over the break, Jerome looked at that assist to game number over there, and he started smiling. How important, if you guys want to play a pace of play, how important is the point guard position?
Oh, it's very important, especially because, it starts with him. We're trying to get the ball in quickly to him, and he has to be under control and make sure he pushes his teammates to get into the right spots so he can find them. And I think he's done an excellent job with that, getting into the lane, and we've got great shooters. Our guys are running the floor, our bigs are running the floor, and he's finding them. And it makes our game easier for us, and we're playing really well.
Last one for you, Jerome. As a point guard, what does your mentality have to be? Like find the open person, or do you have to be like, okay, I need to score right now? Like, what does your mentality have to be?
I think it's a little bit of balance of both. So if I have a wide open layup, I'm gonna take it. But for me, I'm a pass first point guard, so I'm looking to get others involved because the ball will come back to me eventually. So that's what I would say.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Coach Tyson Wheeler and Jerome Segura.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. When we come back, it will be Sidney Johnson again and Tyler Nelson joining us here on the Stags Men's Basketball Open Practice.
My name is Jerry Johnson. I'm a point guard / shooting guard. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and for your Fairfield Stags. I first started playing basketball because my father was a basketball coach, and he basically taught me the game since I was a young kid. And it's just from there, like, he's been a big influence on my life, and he still is right now. One game time ritual that I always do, I have to separate myself from everybody. And I listen to music between Tupac, Biggie, Rick Ross, and guys like that. And like, those guys really put me in the zone to get ready for the game. One thing you need to know about me, I'm a huge Beyonce fan. No matter what song it is, Beyonce, I have to dance to it. And I'm also like a hidden dancer. It's just what I do.
And welcome back here to Alumni Hall, and welcome back with Coach Johnson and Tyler Nelson. And Coach, before we talk to Tyler, just talk about what you've seen as Tyler as a player this year.
Well, I mean, I love this kid. He knows that I'm on him because I expect a lot out of him. I don't want to embarrass him too much, but the kid's a winner, He does a lot of things for us. Obviously, he shoots the ball very well. Every time he lets it go, we think it's going in. But he's been much better. I challenged him over the summer in terms of converting stuff at the rim. He's done a really good job there. He's one of our better ball handlers, and he's extremely unselfish. And he's a winner. He's just a team guy. He's just like everything that we want from our players. And I can put a lot of different guys around him, and we look good. And as much as I want to credit those guys, I got to credit him as well. So I enjoy coaching him. I really enjoy him continuing to get better as a sophomore, which is no small thing. Sometimes people have a great freshman year and they stay stuck there, but he's continued to develop.
And Tyler, talking about developing, last year you were known as a shooter. This year, much more passing, much more assists in the column. Just talk about that development a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I was kind of just a standstill shooter, and this year I was really looking to bring something new to my game, and I knew that teams were going to be all over me. I wasn't going to get those open shots I did last year, so this summer I was just working on, trying to get other guys involved and passing and stuff like that, and so I've just been working on that so far.
Tyler said it best that, this year there's a scouting report on him. This year teams are going to aim for him. How impressive you've been with the work ability of Tyler to, get past that?
Again, I don't want to embarrass him too much. He wants to win. He really wants to win deep down in his core. He's a phenomenal teammate. There are times when I'll pull him out. I think he's tired. He might have some fouls. I just want to pull him out, and he's as vocal and active in terms of cheering for his teammates as he is about a play that he would make, and that's contagious. So then why wouldn't he continue to work on his own game in order to get better? All those things go together, but he's just about winning. And when you put guys in your locker room, you want to make sure that that's what they're about, because that's what I'm about. That's what we want to do here at Fairfield, right, T.Y.?
Yes.
But I just trust him a ton, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to get on him. He knows that. but the kid is about winning. And for me, that as we move forward and we're kind of coming on this upward swing, and we see our future, it's terrific to know that I've got him in the locker room for another 2.5 years.
And Tyler, talk about that transition going into a sophomore year when teams are guarding you more. What do you have to do in the gym in order, to be successful on the court?
For me, I just worked on ball handling. I watched a lot of tape from last year, and I saw like different things on the floor that I didn't see last year, like open guys or stuff like that. So I've just been trying to translate that into my game. And, I've been getting a lot of assists first through 8 games or so. So I just want to keep that going moving forward, getting the other guys involved, because it doesn't matter where the points come from as long as we get them. That's really what matters.
Last question for you, Tyler. Nothing about basketball, but another sport, golf. Back in high school, just talk about your golf ability.
I don't know if I have any more ability anymore. I haven't played. I'm here in the summer working out, so last summer I was maybe played like 3 or 4 times. That was it. When in high school I was playing almost every day. So I don't know if it's still there. I might have to go back and find that later in life. But it's good to have.
Tyler, was that your first game that you grew to love, or was it basketball? What was the order?
No, it was always basketball. With my dad and my family. So it was always basketball. But I grew up on a golf course back home, so I was always doing it since I was a kid. So.
Right.
Well, from the links to the court, we're happy to see you right here on the court. Tyler, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And our next guest will be Coleman Johnson. And
tell CJ to scoot on over here. Go grab him for me, Tyler. Thank you.
And as he comes over here, Coach, just talk about Coleman, not only his ability on the court, but also as one of those leaders.
Well, yeah, another guy who's completely bought in. He's been fantastic. He's another kid that I embarrass in the locker room, just in terms of just talking about how proud I am in terms of his senior year development. He makes extra passes, he tips balls, he rebounds, he swears he's a three-point shooter. He swears, all right? And so the game is about developing and getting better, and he's making a few, so, that might be on the horizon. But, it's just been a fun team, and to see guys like Tyler and to see guys like Coleman Johnson and their development this year, it's been fun to be a part of.
Well, sometimes he's been Mr. Automatic so far this year, especially late in games. When you have the ball in your hands and you take, there was a clutch jumper that you had against Columbia, what's your mindset, and how has that jump shot developed through your 4 years?
It's just the confidence that my team has. Usually it's a drive and kick, and then I'm open in the short corner or the wing. And if my teammates have the confidence to give me the ball, I gotta have the confidence to take the shot and make the shot. And that's how it's coming down. Both shots, I think Ty gave me one against Columbia, and then Mattia gave me another against Ryder. They both kicked it out, and if they got to have faith in me, I got to have faith in myself.
And especially this year, Coleman could really be, like the example of this program. He's a shot of block ability, shows his presence in the post, and this year he's, expanded his game into a jumper. Just talk about the overall ability.
Well, yeah, I would say like the versatility. Again, Coleman can make that short corner jump shot, and again, he swears it's out to 3. We'll see. It only makes us better, you know what I mean? And to have our big guys, where I'm going with it is the versatility. So whether it's a long 2 or a 3, again, he's one of our best guys in terms of blocking shots. Defensive rebounding, whether he's getting the rebound or boxing out, and he may be our best guy percentage-wise in terms of field goal percentage. So there's a lot of different things that he's doing, and then it's the off-the-court stuff too, and that's been cool to see Coleman. He's always been comfortable in his skin, but he's also trying to help other guys, whether it's plays or the adjustment, or just frankly what they need to do in terms of effort-wise. And I feel good that I have a senior. And my senior class is really, really strong. But I have someone like Coleman Johnson that I can point to and say, hey, Kevin, hey, Mattia, hey, Jonathan, hey, anybody, do it like Coleman. And that's a really good thing from a coaching standpoint. And, I hope he appreciates the role that he's playing for us, because it's no small thing.
Now, when you have a young team like this, what do you have to do as a senior to just gather everybody into a collective unit?
First thing, you got to set the example, be the leader on and off the court and lead by example. But the main thing is, they're young, so they're going to make mistakes. So you can't get them down on themselves. You got to be there when they need somebody to, somebody to talk to, and be there when you got to get yelled at a little bit. And knowing the balance about that is a big thing. So sometimes you got to be like, hey, man, it's all right. But other times you got to get into them and make sure they're ready for the play and ready for the game. Because when you get on the court, not everything's going to be nice and not everything's going to go your way. So they got to learn that on the practice court.
Well, Coach, we have to close the show now, so let's do so by kind of taking a sneak peek to the rest of the season. Team is 4-4 right now. They have won, most of the last, I think 4 of their last 5 games. Just talk about the rest of the year coming up from what you've seen the goal standpoint, and especially the Wagner game coming up.
Well, obviously, I'll start with Wagner just because they're a terrific team. They play extremely hard defensively. They share the ball really well, and they execute. So it's a lot of good things. They're very well coached. And so we'll take, we took some of today, and then we'll take tomorrow and the next day to prepare and try to play as well as we can. This is a coach's answer, but it's the truth. We talk about winning every day, right, Coleman? Just winning the day that we're engaged in. So we had a tremendous practice today. We're going to feel good about just leaving this gym knowing we rebounded as well as we could, we pushed the ball as well as we could, we made extra passes, and we had fun doing it, treated each other like brothers. So each day we're trying to do that. These games will come when they come. We won today, and I think that approach has gotten us better. There's a senior leadership, there's infusion of talent, and there's a lot of enthusiasm from this coaching staff, but it's winning each day that's gotten us this far, so we're not going to mess with that. We won today. We'll see what practice looks like tomorrow.